Alright, so you heathens wanted a video about how I think the Pro League Season 11 is going to go when it kicks off tomorrow. Yeah, this video is coming out a day before Pro League because I've tried recording it like 3 or 4 times and every time has always turned out to be way worse than the last time, but I came up with a different system, and the way we are going to grade each team heading into Season 11 is with an emoji. I'm not kidding. The reason why I didn't want to do predictions for a whole season of Pro League or even a half season is because I think it's such an abnormally long period of time to try to predict compared to a normal weekend tournament, a LAN that only happens over 3 or 4 days, which is also compounded by all of the roster mania that's happened with teams in basically every region leading up to Season 11. And I thought grading it with a letter or a number just kind of seemed boring. So this is how we're gonna do it.
No! God, please, no!
I'm gonna keep it short, the emoji plus 1 sentence to help back up my reasoning. But first, I do have to tell you that this video is now sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Let's start with North America. So Dark Zero gets a big thinkums face because we haven't seen their changes with Skies and Eclipse come to fruition just yet. SSG gets a Casey Neistat impersonator because they're looking pretty solid and I have the most confidence in them right now. TSM gets a Han Solo-like smirk because when they were at USN they weren't at full strength, but when they have Pojo Man in the lineup in online play, I expect them to just shine. EG gets a weird looking pensive face one because they're a really big question mark. Luminosity just gets the normal standard stock smiley face. Nothing bad to say about them, but I do want to see how they perform. Reciprocity gets an angry face because they looked really nasty at USN, and one can only hope that they can continue that momentum and that magic through to the online season. Tempo Storm gets the face with the mouse wiped off because I don't really know what to expect from them just yet. There's a lot of good support structure under them, but we just didn't see them perform at USN, and if that's the only place that we have to see how they'll do under this org, then right now it's looking a little bleak, but they do have a lot to prove. And E United gets a Teddy Roosevelt looking monocle man. Wait, did Teddy Roosevelt even wear a monocle? Nope. Because they have some changes on their roster that I think they still need to prove. They also get a pretty big question mark from me because the only time we've seen this team play was with Reed and not Alfama. So which of those two players is active on the team at the start of the season, I'm not sure. But because Reed is an exit fragger and Alfama's going to be playing support, we could see 2 very different teams depending on which of those 2 is active. Moving into European territory, G2 Esports gets a visual representation of their play over these past couple months. Na'Vi gets a big surprised face because I feel like the success of that team is fully dependent on how Pi plays with the rest of the roster. If he's doing well and Doki's ban expires, then they might not want to bring him back if Pi is playing with a really good fire. However, if Pi is not doing well, then bringing Doki back in after his ban could very well be what saves their season. Vitality gets the face that I make every time I pretend to be surprised about a roster change I knew was coming 2 weeks beforehand, because even though they've made 2 really big changes over these past couple of weeks, I feel like the reputations of the players that they're bringing in really do speak for themselves and speak to a legacy of success, and hopefully they can gel together pretty well. BDS gets the potty mouth frustrated face because that's how I feel about Panics no longer being on the roster. That's not getting a video in and of itself. I think it's kind of a bad move from BDS considering the success that they had with Panics before even entering Pro League to begin with. I think it's a pretty crappy move and I don't know where they go from here. Fours gets a shh expression because I think a lot of people are sleeping on what they can do. If you guys remember, this exact lineup made it all the way to the semifinals of the Raleigh Major prior to even entering Challenger League. Even though I think they probably landed a mid-tier spot in Europe with all the rest of the talent that's in the European pool, I think there are still people who will sleep on how far they can go. On this list, I gave Empire a winky face, and that might have been because I think they're going to be one of the stronger teams this season and will probably go all the way to the finals. But why a winky face? You guys tell me in the comments, why did I give Empire this rating? I have no idea. I did this list at work. Someone help me. And the Giants I give a nervous laugh because I don't know where they stand at the moment, but they still have a core roster of 4 players plus 1 new one that has Pro League experience. It shouldn't be too crazy, but I'm still kind of waiting to see where they fall. I say that a lot, but that's the only analysis I can offer on the Giants roster right now. While editing this video, somehow I completely forgot that Chaos is a team, and the rating that I gave them is just a blank face, because I don't know if Shate is necessarily the improvement that they're hoping for. They'll probably still be mid-tier in Europe. Alright, now we'll move into Latin American territory. I gave FaZe whatever this one is, smoke out of the nostrils, I always thought it was kind of like an angry, raging bull sort of face, which speaks to FaZe because they should be hopping mad about how their Season 10 ended with having a sub come in to replace a player that helped get them to the finals in Japan. And the same goes for Ninjas in Pajamas, and they had 2 subs going into Japan, but I wanted to give them 2 separate emojis, but just know they kind of mean the same thing. Liquid gets an angelic halo, which is something that I always have above my head because I'm perfect. The reason I give it to them is because I think FaZe, Nip, and Liquid will probably be in a 3-way battle for the 2 top spots in Latin America again. But Liquid is hot off of winning the OGA Pit Miner, and I fully expect them to carry that momentum throughout their season. As far as I'm concerned, Liquid's back, baby. Elevate get the emoji version of what Fabian looks like when he smiles sometimes. Sorry, Fabian, don't kill me, please. I don't want to call Latin America the worst region, but if you remember the Pro League Season 10 relegations, Elevate used to be known as Chico's team, and this was the game where we got the Kickstart clip of him saying, "What an idiotic play from that Thermite." They're probably the least deserving team in Latin America at the moment.
What an idiotic play from that Thermite!
I gave INTZ the face where he just kind of looks like he's going, well, suck. There's nothing about that team that screams champion or absolute suckfest, so they should be right in the middle of the pack as they usually do. MIBR get the shocked face of pure PTSD because it's a representation of all of their fans thinking that they might be back only to then suck and probably go into relegations again. No, but seriously, they should do pretty well. They've been on a very nice resurgent bounce back, and hopefully whatever the heck happened during Season 10 doesn't plague them again if they really are on the right track now. Black Dragons don't even have a 5th player listed on their Liquipedia page, and the roster for them looks drastically different from what it was last season and even the season before. I think them, along with Elevate, are probably looking at relegations for Season 11, because if you remember, both North America and Europe are the 2 regions that are having 10 teams next season, but there will still be 8 for Latin America, which means Challenger League and relegations are a thing, and they just look really beat up. And Team 1 gets the nervous clenched teeth because they're no longer with Skadinia, and I think they're in a similar position to INTZ. They'll kind of be a middle of the pack team that doesn't really go anywhere. There, are you happy? Is this what you wanted? Did it give you the wonderful professional insight to make sure that you get your strafe predictions right or something? I don't care. I'm not here for predictions about Pro League. That is totally fine. I hope that you found this at least somewhat entertaining. I've tried to record this thing like so many times, and it's just kind of a chore. I will think about doing some sort of Pro League review, whether it be after every play day for every region, or if it's something that happens like on a weekly basis. That kind of stuff is coming out, but for the moment, please enjoy it when Pro League hits your screens back again on the main Rainbow Six Twitch channel, starting tomorrow, January 6th, with Europe, and then everything. Yeah, just go. Yeah, bye.